From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebow. Cleanup in Nova Scotia could take days after more than a meter of snow piled up in some parts of the province over the weekend. Cape Breton resident Leonard Dean told CTV News Atlantic this extreme snowfall has been overwhelming in his community.
I haven't seen anything like it. I've been around 47 years. It's crazy. We'll be buried out, or we'll be buried for a few more days at least.
Federal Emergency Preparedness Minister Harjit Sajjan said Parks Canada will be sending snow removal equipment, and the Canadian Coast Guard is sending helicopters. Los Angeles has to suffer through one more day of heavy rain, and by tonight, the rain should finally let up. It's been raining nonstop since Sunday afternoon in what has turned out to be a historic storm with over 300 millimeters of it. Police in London, Ontario have released few details on the reopened investigation into an alleged 2018 sexual assault involving 5 then members of Canada's World Junior Hockey team. Police said it could jeopardize the ongoing case. Officers held a news conference updating the investigation yesterday, hours after the case against Dylan Dubé, Carter Hart, Michael McLeod, Cal Foote, and Alex Formenton was put over until the end of April.
London Police Chief Tai Trung repeatedly said he was unable to get into the details regarding the nearly 6 years it took to file charges because they could compromise the case before the courts. But for the first time, he did apologize to the victim at the center of the allegations for the length of time it took to get to this point.
This should not take this long. It shouldn't take years and years.
The case was dropped in 2019 when police found there were insufficient grounds to lay charges, before being reopened in 2022 when new evidence reportedly came to light. Laurie Paris, the Canadian Press.
RCMP say a train derailed yesterday afternoon in southern Alberta, just outside the city of Brooks. Police say about 17 cars left the tracks. All were hauling shipping containers carrying various products. No injuries were reported. Train company CPKC says its teams are responding to the site to begin a full assessment and cleanup. American singer-songwriter Toby Keith has died at the age of 62.
That's country, bro.
The American country singer had been battling stomach cancer since 2022. A statement posted on the country singer's website says Toby Keith passed peacefully on Monday, surrounded by his family, and that he fought his fight with grace and courage. Sometimes a polarizing figure in country music, the 6'4" singer crafted an identity around his macho, pro-American swagger and wrote songs that fans love to hear. And days after the Grammy Awards were handed out in Los Angeles, Canada's music scene grabs the spotlight today as nominees for this year's Juno Awards are announced in Toronto. This year's Junos will run March 24th in Halifax with Nelly Furtado as host. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Toronto Maple Leafs saw their 3-game winning streak end. Pierre Engvall scored late in the third period, lifting the visiting New York Islanders to a 3-2 win over the Leafs. The night's only other game saw Alexis Lafreniere score at 1:53 of overtime as the New York Rangers beat the Colorado Avalanche 2-1. The Quebec government says it'll spend $870 million to replace the decaying roof of Montreal's Olympic Stadium. The stadium can only open between 120 and 180 days of the year due to the roof's fragility. Montreal's CFL and MLS teams play in different facilities with no plans to move, causing some sports economists to question the wisdom of replacing this roof. NBA action Monday night saw the Toronto Raptors lose in New Orleans 138-100. Former Raptor Kawhi Leonard scored 36 points in a 149-144 win over Atlanta. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebow.